my god. Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine here at HappyCool and welcome to a new Outlander review. This week's episode was called The Devil's Mark. Let's talk about it. I have no quick thoughts this week because it was so insane that I'm just gonna jump right into the trial and kind of give you my thoughts as the episode went along. Holy crap, the trial! It's in those moments that I'm guessing Claire probably wishes she was back home in the 1940s. And I know she loves Jamie and all, but even I'm like, you know what, Frank's not so bad. Maybe you should go back and be safe. Thankfully for Claire and Gilles, Ned Gowan was there to represent them. I was actually surprised that he was so good, especially given the circumstances. It was really made clear, I think, in this episode how much Gilles loves Dougal. And I'm kind of sad that we're not gonna get to see these two together because I think that would have been an interesting pair. Of course, Leary is a witness. It's not helping me liking her anymore. And then the father comes and I'm like, oh crap. But then he starts his whole speech and I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, never mind.
You should know better, Sandrine. You should know better.
It's also pretty tragic when Ned is like, I can only say one of you. And Gilles, I've gotta say, she's going down like a boss. She's like, looks like I'm going to a fucking barbecue. Love you so much, Gilles, right now. Hugs, virtual hugs. And then of course, you have to love that Claire just can't turn on Gilles. She's like, I just can't do it. Even though she knows she might get burnt at the stake, which is crazy, but she's like, I just can't. And here comes WTF moment number one. With Gilles telling Claire, the question you had before, I think it is possible, 1968. I didn't remember what the question was originally, but I went back and looked and it's when Claire tells her, I just want to go home and I don't know if it's possible. So she's kind of answering that question. And at that point I'm going like, what? What, 1968, what? And then we get Claire getting flogged, but Jamie arrives on time to save the day, and I'm like, wow. So I was excited that Jamie arrived right on time, of course, which leads to WTF moment number two. Gilles sacrifices herself for Claire. Holy crap. I was in tears crying as this whole speech is happening. And then she shows the scar, which is a smallpox vaccine. And then Claire is like, she's from 1968. And I'm like, what? Outlander, what are you doing to me? And then they take Gilles to be burned at the stake. And I'm like, no. No, Gilles. No. Why are you doing this to me, Outlander? And then it doesn't stop here, because why not? Let's just keep killing Sandrine. So we get to the truth/revelation and WTF moment number three, where Claire finally tells Jamie that she's from the future and he actually believes her. Ironically enough, I think that because he's from that time and they're very suspicious and believe in a lot of things that we don't believe in, it makes it easier for him to believe that she's from the future. Whereas if someone told you that today, you'd be like, yeah, okay, sure. And I love that he's like, yeah, it would have actually been easier if you were a witch. Because that I can deal with, that I know. Future, no, don't know that much about that. Can't really help you there. My favorite moment of that entire scene is when Jamie realizes that when she left, she was actually trying to get back to her time, and then he punished her for it, and he's like really torn up about it, which I'm like, oh. Moving on to going home. Claire thinks they're just going away, but Jamie has a plan of his own and they get to the stones. And that whole moment where she's about to touch and he stops her and then he tells her that, you know, it's not safe for her here. And you can tell he loves her and that's why he wants to let her go home to her husband and her life. And then you get that great moment where she's looking at both rings. And I think this is the moment where she decides that she's gonna stay, you know? What world do you want to be in? And it's such a great imagery, and they're just so good because they just fade to black, so you're like, oh, did she go home? Obviously she's not gonna get home, or something's gonna bring her back, because otherwise there's no show. But she decides not to go home and returns to Jamie, who's just so happy to see her, and I'm swooning. That episode totally killed me. I kept freaking out, I kept crying, there were tears, there was screams, there was like, what? Definitely my second favorite episode after the wedding episode. I mean, what does it mean that she's from the future too? Are there more people that from the future? And then it's just kind of crazy. I just don't know. So many questions, so many exciting things. Of course, those were my thoughts, but I'd love to hear from you guys and what you thought. Was your mind blown? I'm guessing if you read the books, probably not. But if you haven't read the books, was your mind blown by the fact that Gilles is from the future and that Claire told Jamie? I mean, and then you book readers, did you enjoy seeing all of it come to life? Was it as good as you imagined? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my Outlander reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye! I still can't believe they killed Gilles. Well, actually, part of me is like, well, we didn't really see her getting fired, so maybe she's still alive. I'm just saying, you know, part of me still hopes that she's alive.